Hey, this is Matt once again. What about the videos? Is another paid request, this time for Jonathan. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 1989 film Prancer. Now, Prancer is a film that I remember seeing the cover back in the day quite a few times. And I might have seen once or twice, but at the same time, I did not remember a thing about it. Now, the people who star in it, you have Rebecca Harrell as the little girl Jessica. I don't really think she went on to do much, even though she got a lot of praise for this performance from critics. Siskel and Ebert gave this 2 thumbs up, mainly for her performance. Ariana Richards plays her friend, and she did go on to do a couple stuff, too. She was the little girl in Tremors. She was in this film called Space Invaders. But then people know her as the girl in Jurassic Park, Lex, with the computer hacking. That's probably her biggest claim to fame. So she's in this as the lead girl's buddy. Sam Elliott, always great to see that guy. He's a fantastic actor. I've never seen the guy give a bad performance. Sam Elliott is always intense and just a very strong... I mean, the only reason I like a film like Frogs is because Sam Elliott stars in it. That's really the main reason I liked it, because it's, number one, it's silly, and number two, Sam Elliott is the star, and he never stars in movies like that. He plays the dad. He has an apple farm that's in tough times. The mother, his wife, the little girl's mother has passed away. The little girl has a brother, and the brother picks on her from time to time. And again, Sam Elliott is trying to make ends meet at this apple farm. Abe Vigoda from The Godfather, he's in this film as a veterinarian. Cloris Leachman, who's been in a lot of films back in the day, she's here as a neighbor that the little girl messed some stuff up and later goes to do chores to get some money. Mark Wolston, if you don't know who that is, that's... if you remember a film called Aliens, Drake, we are leaving. Mark Wolston is Drake. Talking to Vasquez, you're just too bad. You're just the acid on his face. That's Drake. That's Mark Wolston. Mark Wolston's been in a lot of other stuff, but that's the film I remember him the most. He has a bit part in this. Pretty much the story is that this little girl, who seems like the only person in town that believes in Christmas, one day finds this reindeer. Her and her dad see it on the road. Dad's going to shoot it. Girl stops it. And then later on, the reindeer pops up and she finds it, takes it back home, cares for it because it's wounded, and she thinks it's Prancer. She thinks it's the Prancer of... Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, all that jazz. And because of her Christmas spirit, word gets around and the town gets a bit more into it. Now, I will say, the way that plot is described can seem very much of a cookie-cutter, Hallmark Channel, sugary sweet. I hate the word cheesy, but I'll use it because I think it's an overused word. It seems like a film that if it was done today, there'd be fart jokes, or there'd be, reindeer poop jokes, or it'd be loud, rambunctious music, and this is how silly... No, it takes it fairly seriously. That's kind of the surprising thing about it, is that this came out in 1989, and it takes this premise fairly seriously. There's a lot of moments that you think is going to be rambunctious, crazy, cutesy music, but it doesn't. It's silent, and it makes it seem a bit more real. The way that the farm is, and the outside, you feel the cold, you really feel the winter setting of it all. Sam Elliott at times gets really intense, fighting with his daughter. And Sam Elliott is an intense actor. And the little girl does a good job, and you kind of get her rationale early on when Ariana Richards, oh, there's no Santa. And then our lead goes, well, if there's no Santa, what, there's no God? Probably not. Well, that means there'd be no heaven. So? Well, then what about my mom? And then she gets mad at her friend, and that's where you get kind of this mindset that opens a bit into our lead character's point of view, her line of thinking, how her father and her don't have the best relationship. There's a point that he doesn't know if he's going to make ends meet and might have the girl live with the aunt, and she doesn't want it, and he's being a bit harsh. But his Sam Elliott is walking on a thin line where he could be very unlikable, but at the same time, because I like the actor and I get where the character's going from, it is a thin line where he could really cross into being a very hateful character. But this for me, it does certain things where it plays it very grounded for its the setup of the story. I see it. It feels like a movie on the premise that would feel much more schmaltzy, but it doesn't, and that was a bit refreshing. And while no, this is not a film I would rewatch over and over again during Christmas. I'm just one of those guys that if I would rather watch Die Hard or Scrooged or Jingle All the Way or something, I do commend what he was doing, and I can see why. I think it got Blu-ray from Shout Factory or something, I believe. I doubt it had features, but maybe it did. I don't know. I don't even know now that I think about it. Actually, I guess I could look it up here if this doesn't mess up the audio. Just sometimes I type and it does. Blu-ray review. But yeah, it's pretty much her trying to figure out how to take care of this. Yeah, Shout Factory. Try to take care of this animal, trying to hide it from her dad. Her brother gives her a bit of a hard time. But again, there's a decent heart to it. Like, there's a point where she's fed up and the dad won't listen to her and she's going to run away. And the brother's like, I liked his conversation with her where, oh, come on, this is stupid. And I'm not going to give everything. I just thought the little, when she's thinking of leaving and some of the stuff he says, I thought it felt a bit natural. I'll put it that way with their little dialogue between each other. And like I say, it's kind of a small, quaint movie. There's not big set pieces or big action set pieces or special effects. You know, the reindeer is an actual animal used that you had to train and put on set. I'm trying to find anything on this, but there was one from Shout Factory, but apparently it's funny. This review says at times it seems a bit dark. I mean, I don't know if dark would be the way to describe it, but like I say, it's a bit more serious. It doesn't feel like a Disney Channel movie. Far from it. And I know there's some sequel, but not sequel, called Prancer Returns, and that probably does feel like that, but it doesn't feel like a Disney Channel film at all. Not any sort. So this came out October 2017 from Shout Factory Blu-ray, but I cannot find anybody that reviewed it because I'm trying to see if it had any features on it. I'm guessing not, but I can't find anything on it. But anyway. Because I'm wondering, like, I wonder if they ever interviewed like the little girl, and did she explain, like, did she just want to quit acting? Did she go into another line of work? Ariana Richards, I mean, she talked about Space Invaders. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything on it, so I'll just give up on it. Anyway, so that was wasted time. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, it goes into sort of the hardships of a little kid learning that she has to grow up at some point. She literally even says, "I'm almost 9 years old, but it's time I grew up a little." But how, again, her kind of childlike innocence helps the town get a little bit more in the Christmas mood, but at the same time, it doesn't feel too melodramatic or too, what's the other word I'm thinking of? Not just melodramatic, but it doesn't feel too sugary sweet and, like I said, schmaltzy. The score by Maurice Jarre is not too bad. I believe that's the same person that did the score to Jacob's Ladder from 1990, which is a favorite score of mine. This score is pretty decent, fits the film well. And like I said, I thought the little girl really was capable. She wasn't annoying or irritating. You got her point of view. You got her confusion. Like, she's begging for the vet to help out, and he keeps saying no. And then she says something like, "Doctors are just liars. They never make anyone better." They don't go too far into that, but that kind of gives you a clue as to maybe that's in reference to her mom. Maybe her mom was in the hospital. Maybe her mom, went through all this stuff. So, like, you get a little bit of insight to it, but it doesn't hammer you over the head with it. And like I said, maybe for kids, if they're wanting something a bit sillier, goofier, it's not Tim Allen's The Santa Claus. It's not, any of these other films. It's not Ernest, Saves Christmas. This is a film that maybe a select number of kids would like, as long as they understand it's a bit more serious and a bit more. I mean, it's not like dark as in, Return to Oz. But I mean, it's still an 80s kids film where they didn't treat the kid like a dummy. They didn't treat the kid and talk down to the kid, if that makes sense. And I think that's one of the reasons why it got a little bit of a cult following. And getting more into spoilers, like, she tries to get the reindeer out because Mark Ralston buys it to put it for display. She falls, hits her head. I like the bit that the reindeer got out and then sits next to her. I thought the animal trainer did a good job with that. When you had to use an animal trainer, nowadays they try to cheap out and use CGI because it would save them, in their words, time and money to do it. But you get actual animal trainer and get the animal to do what you want. It makes the scene work better because it's natural, because it's real, and you cannot get more real than real. And I did like Sam Elliott's performance at the end, where he's reading, "Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus," and he has a nice bit of dialogue here. It's like, I don't know if things will be better. Things are going to be hard around here. Maybe one day we'll lose the farm. I can bear that. But what I can't bear, you were gone last night, and I saw was like to not have you around. And I love you. Like, Sam Elliott did a very solid job with that. Now, maybe it would have been nice to see a bit more in between, where it kind of goes from her being knocked out to she's healing back up. Some of the town are outside of the house, and he's saying that. I kind of wish there was a bit of a, whether a montage or some type of theme where he's like reading to her or he's sitting next to her and he doesn't want to leave and he's sleeping, and just a little bit more in between from A to B, a little bit more. Like, idea why he feels that way, of course, is his daughter, but idea we've seen him so much as this angry guy, probably angry about the death of his wife and his farm not doing so well. But it would have been nice to see a bit more of that transition of cooling down and this bit at the end, and see a bit more of the loving father figure of Sam Elliott's character. It would have been, like I said, just would have been nice to see a bit more of that, and you to do that with the finale of it. And the way it ends, I thought was, it was there. Super spoilers, pretty much. Hey, it's was it Christmas Eve or whatever? Let's get Prancer to Santa, and the little girl goes, Dad, I know it's not the actual Prancer. Well, hey, I mean, we don't know. So they go through the townsfolk who are cheering them on. They get the reindeer, they let it go. They go to a cliff, and they're like, did he jump off? Did he go up to Santa? Part of me wonders if it would have been better to keep that ambiguous and you figure out yourself. But they really don't, because Sam Elliott goes, hey, you know what? Listen to some bells. And she's like, oh, I hear them. And then she looks up. Now, we see Santa and the sleigh and a light going up to Santa's sleigh. I guess supposedly Prancer. Like, we see it, and she sees it, but does Sam Elliott see it? Does he not see it? So that's the thing, is that he doesn't see it, so are we made to think that this is all in her mind? But then there's a shot of a point of view of the sleigh going towards the farm, and like going towards their window and bright light. And I'm like, you know what? If that's Santa, I hope you gave him a big old check to keep their farm, because they helped your reindeer and they took care of it. At least the girl did. You better give her a big old check. Okay, there better be a big box of money in one of those Christmas presents. So that's what I mean. It's like it wants to have his cake and eat it too. But I guess it's making it assume, yes, Santa's real. But the thing is, like, Sam Elliott doesn't see it for some reason, but she sees it. Is one of those that only the kid can see it, because she looks up as if she sees it, and we, the audience, see it. But then why does Sam Elliott not see it? And you think he would? He's hugging her like this, so you think if you're going to have it be that Santa, he should look up and be like, some sense of wonder or awe, or just go all the way from that, or leave it completely ambiguous and you figure out whether the reindeer fell or whether or I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to do a big old grand ending. They want to be, a quaint ending to a quaint movie. I don't know, just, and the whole point of view of the sleigh, I guess, to give presents to the farm. I'm sitting there, like, that's the thing, is that it's a lot of the film is about the hardships of what's going on in life. Sam Elliott's speech about maybe we'll lose the farm one day, and maybe things will always be tough, but at least we have each other. So that's what it's playing, so grounded. And then if there's Santa at the very end and the point of view of the sleigh, it's like either go all the way and go full force with that ending, or don't show Santa at all and let people figure it out themselves, that it was more about these two getting together. And you don't have to reindeer fall off the ledge, but just he runs off to the woods, and then She goes somewhere, looks around, it's not there, and then you figure it out. Did it disappear because it went up? Did it disappear not over an edge so that kids think, oh my god, it jumped and fell and broke its neck? And there's other ways to make it more ambiguous. That's why I thought the ending was just a bit, with all the build up to it with the movie, I thought, it just wasn't that satisfying. But that's just me. But overall, like I said, it's not. I think if you watch it with your kid, there's nothing that's going to make you go, oh my god. If as stupid as it sounds, it feels like a real movie. It doesn't feel like a Disney Channel or a Lifetime Channel, Hallmark Channel movie, I should say. It doesn't feel like a Hallmark movie. It feels like a real movie. I don't know how else to word it. So, I appreciate that. And it's always nice to have Sam Elliott in there. And the little girl did a good job. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later.